like it. Hello and welcome to YouTube Gaming at PAX Prime. I'm your host, Danny Dwyer from GameSpot.com. And we're back. But the kind of funny guys are here. What's going on?
Nothing. Hey.
Tim Geddes.
We're here.
Yes.
Nick Scarpino.
We're the only ones clapping for us.
So,
No, Mike from Game Wisp was clapping.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear him. These guys on the bench over there, not sold. They don't know us yet.
so we're here to announce that I'm replacing Colin Moriarty on Kind
Oh
of
man!
Funny.
Finally!
Fine with that.
Oh,
A real Irish person.
it's great.
Fill in bullshit.
Yeah.
No way.
Well, I'm half Italian, I'm half Irish.
Get off the fence, Moriarty. I was looking forward to getting you up on stage and playing some Metal Gear Solid.
Right, yeah, if you needed another reason to hate Konami, they have not shown up with Metal Gear like they said they would.
Because
I'll
somebody,
take
There
that.
you go.
apparently the traffic in Seattle is pretty bad.
Yeah.
We have some runners downstairs who might be able to get it, but
Oh, wow, okay.
we'll see.
No big deal. If you're already watching this on YouTube, after everything's done, go to youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. We've had a week of exclusive Metal Gear Let's Plays up, where I've played really well and no one's been mean in the comments.
It's been crazy.
Has it been chained to your wrist for the entire week?
No.
Like, do you remember that? Do you remember what Grand Theft Auto 4? Do you remember that NDA Rockstar had?
Yeah.
Where it had to be in a sealed container within like eye contact of somebody at all times. And if you leaked footage, they'd sue you $1 million.
$1 million.
1 million.
We were at the review event where like we were playing and stuff, and like, okay, don't talk about it. You can only tweet this out. And like then there were stories of it like, all right, it's leaking. It's out in Buenos Aires, whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, whatever.
Killer. So last week, was it? You spent
All
a
week.
basically playing the game.
Yeah.
Is it any good?
It's fantastic.
Yeah?
Yeah, for sure. It's the best Metal Gear gameplay they've ever had in Metal Gear.
That's like an insane thing to say.
I know it is. I know that that's a crazy thing to say. Like, I'm aware as I was saying it that it was insane, but it's true. Like, for me, I've always described myself as a story whore, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm playing games for the story. And this was the flip of that, where the story's all right, it's fine, don't get me wrong, it's pulling me through, I want to know what's happening. Obviously, there's a lot of questions already just from trailers, but really what was bringing me back night after night, day after day, still now, right? I'm like 65 hours into the game. I still want to keep playing it for, I want to take out this outpost, and I want to get this emblem, and I want to kidnap that person to make my R&D structure better so I can make another strut in Mother Base so I can develop this, and it's just, it's like that hole, it's that gameplay loop you can't get away from.
Which is crazy, because the Metal Gear franchise has always been a kind of a, okay, I'm going to play through this, and then, you know what, actually, I'm going to play through it again, but I'm
Right.
going to, like, either New Game Plus it, or try something else.
Right.
So the idea that there's this, like open world for that series is totally untrodden
Weird,
ground.
yeah, and it was fun. This week, I went back to LA and I got to sit down with Kojima and talk to him about it, right? And that was one of his questions for me, because he was interviewing me, which was super weird. He was interviewing me and he asked me, like, you know...
Did he have the bandages back on again?
No, there's no bandages this time. He asked me, though, he's like, you know, how does it feel? Like, the fact that, you know, Metal Gear has been linear and now it's open, does it work? And it totally works, and that's the interesting thing. Like, I've been answering comments the best I can on Twitter, right? And people are asking me, like, what are the difficulty settings? How many save files? And it's like, there are none, there's one. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you just play in this world and it's set up as it is. And then once you've beaten the game, you unlock harder versions of the missions you already did, where it's like, okay, now you go in and you have no equipment. Now you go in, if they see you, it's over. Now, you know what I mean? They're increasing the difficulty that way, which is very fascinating.
Okay, let's go down this murderer's row in terms of Metal Gear fandom. Have you played all the games in the past? Yeah?
Come on, Danny.
All right.
I haven't played all of them. I played majority of them. I stayed away from Peace Walker
Okay.
and the portable ops and all those other
All
ones.
right, well, the fact that you're counting those as part...
Yeah.
Oh,
The core one. I'm very familiar with Metal Gear.
Okay.
Every
And
numbered game.
All the
One?
numbered ones.
You've
Ground
only played
Zero.
one.
That's
Ground Zeroes doesn't
Really?
even count. That's like you
That's
played
like part of this.
25% of a Metal Gear.
Oh, you
That's
played
it.
the demo. Right, okay.
I don't even
Yeah.
think I finished it, to be perfectly honest. No, I mean, that's the thing. I'm excited about this game, and I really do actually want to play it. But it's kind of sad that this is going to be my first entree into the Metal Gear series.
Man, you're going to be so confused.
Oh my God! Well, when I was down there with Greg when he was playing through some of it in LA, and we sat at dinner. I'm like, just give me like the broad overview. Catch me up on the story real quick. And he goes, okay, so there's like 3 snakes, and there's this, and this.
Three
What about the
snakes.
president? And this thing, I was like this. My mind just went white for a second, and I came back to it. And I was like, I'm just gonna jump in and just see.
So there's 3 snakes might be like the best opening line of
Yeah.
like, any like video game.
I
Yeah.
feel that Peace Walker, Ground Zeroes, and now 5 have all learned from previous mistakes or
Right.
things that they used to get knocked for, right? Whereas like Peace Walker, I really felt you could just jump into. You know what I mean? Like sure, it'd be helpful if you knew everything about big boss versus boss, yada, yada, yada. But if you're not, they tell you what's happening. And similar with Ground Zeroes, even though it's a little bit murkier. But for sure, 5 opens up, and if you haven't played any other Metal Gear, like, you're going to be disoriented in the beginning because they want you to be disoriented. Even as you know, playing as me, you're like, what the hell is happening? I don't understand what's going on. But then, like, between mission 1, or I guess 2 and 3 is when they are like, here's how this relates to Ground Zeroes and who you are and it's like, okay, now I'm on track even if I didn't know anything.
But here's
to be fair though, like even Metal Gear Solid 1 felt that way, you know, like from what I've seen of 5, it kind of seems like, at least from the trailers and stuff, even as a huge Metal Gear fan, I don't know what's going on, but no one does.
Dude, Metal Gear Solid 2.
Oh yeah,
same thing. Like the first 3 hours are like a totally different game.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, what?
But that's my question for you guys. Like, you guys are all diehard Metal Gear fans. How much Metal Gear do you need for this one, for 5 to actually make sense? Some semblance of sense.
I don't think you need any.
Yeah, no. I mean, there's going to be points of confusion, but again, he's trying to confuse me. He's trying to confuse anyone who knows anything about Metal Gear.
So, do you think, as a person who's never played a Metal Gear game at all, this is the one to start with, or do I need to go back and start playing more?
It's the same thing as always. I would always encourage you to go back, but I would say, I mean, to understand what's happening here, it would be more like go back to Peace Walker, because that's an easier entry point. It's 12 hours, you're done.
Because that's the thing. For me, I watched the gameplay, and I'm like, the core mechanics, just the sneaking around and the stealth, the base building and all that stuff, looks awesome. It just looks super fun. But then I get to the story elements, and I'm like, I know this is deep, but to me, no sense whatsoever.
I think if you went in on any of the other ones, you'd have the same confusion with the stories, but the gameplay you'd also be confused about. Because if you go back and play those games, they're not like picking up normal like third-person action games. They have weird idiosyncrasies.
I think 4 is. 4 was when it first started being a little bit more modern, and Peace Walker as well, where you could pick that up and play it. But 1, 2.
That was when they did like the action controls.
Yes, exactly.
That was a big deal.
Like infantry on the thumbsticks and like all this like combining stuff was like.
Greg, that's the one you could have played dead. Greg, that's the one you could have played dead in.
Probably.
No, I think 5 is going to be a really good entry point for you because it is more gameplay focused than story from what we're hearing.
Yeah.
And the thing with the story is it's like, it makes sense and doesn't make sense simultaneously no matter what. Every character has 4 names. You know, there's always this stuff that you don't really know what's going on. But it's like, it almost doesn't matter because each game introduces you to the characters you need to know and gives you their story. Sometimes you'll get little glimpses of other people and it's like, oh, this guy relates to this guy this way. But it's like, they'll tell you that when you're playing it.
Okay, all right.
Does Phantom Pain have the same level of like crazy antagonists?
No, that was a big surprise for me.
Okay.
Boss battles and like a team of bosses, they don't really exist in this game.
Okay.
This game, like I mean, if you've watched the trailers, you already know, or even played a little bit of Ground Zeroes, you know most of the people that are in this game that are going to be your antagonists, right? Like
Skullface.
We already know Skullface. We already know, I guess, spoilers, but you've seen in the trailers and everything else. Burning Man.
Yeah.
Who looks to be
Burning Man.
Yeah.
Gone in about 3 days, I think. Just some
they are the bad guys. They are the crew that's out to get you or whatever. And there's only like 1 or 2 instances where it's really like, all right, I'm in a boss battle.
Okay.
And even those aren't like they were before. There's nothing like the Sorrow. There's nothing like the End. There's
no Beauty and the Beast Squad.
No, there's no Revolver Ocelot, a Metal Gear 1 battle.
No man made of bees.
No,
no rollerblading, bomb disposal expert.
All right, let's not talk crap about Fat Man. Everybody loves Fat Man.
I want more Fat Man. I want Fat Man's prequel story.
Sure.
If that's not in 5, not sold. I want my money back.
No, that's
I
what
can't
Konami
spoil
are
that
going to
for
do
you.
afterwards. That's the
Yeah.
Kojima Productions will be on.
DLC.
He'll be the spin-off, yeah. That'll be the next Vita game.
That'll be Fat Man.
Yeah.
Like
Metal
a
Gear
rollerblading
story.
Tony Hawk style game. Oh, well, they've done it before.
Yeah?
With, Substance on
Subsistence?
Xbox.
Yeah.
Oh,
right. No,
Substance.
yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Internet. Calm down.
So, Phantom Pain.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about it.
Great.
What's the nearest touchstone for like another game, like a similar game? Does it feel like, because when I'm looking at it, it seems like, okay, base invasion kind of a la Far Cry 3.
Yeah, like,
and that's a great
how does it rank up against 4? Like, and that's the thing. You said there's stark differences between the last Metal Gear and this Metal Gear, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is a better game than 4. It's a better story. It's better gameplay. It's this.
Less
4, Tim and I always talk about, right, that 4 got a 10 at IGN. I was second opinion on it. I'm like, this game is great. And then the rest of my career there, I was like, don't put it on a top 25 list.
Right.
Like, I don't think this is not a game I would recommend to anyone, right? Like, that's not a game that if you don't know anything about Metal Gear, jump into.
Yeah. 4 I think is out of 4 and 2 are 2 maybe a little less so.
Getting
but
dangerous.
4 is the one that you can't just jump into and understand what's happening.
Right.
Because it is very story-based, and it is very linear, and it's very based on what had come before it.
Right.
From 1, 2, and 3.
But does this one still have a cinematic feel to it, or is it much more about? Yeah.
I mean, it does. Like, it's a different thing. I feel like they've gone from cinematic feel to television feel.
Like
wow.
HBO.
They call
like reality show, like Real Housewives.
No, like it's not even
Real Housewives
not even
of
mission
Afghanistan.
number 2 or
That'd be
whatever.
amazing.
It's episode 2. It's episode 3. You
Gotcha.
start.
Okay.
The credits roll in the beginning. It tells you as soon as you're coming in on your helicopter who's going to be in that. So
Oh,
you don't
really?
you don't even get surprised if the Skulls show up or if Burning Man shows up, right?
Really?
It says like guest starring, and it'll put their name. You're like, oh, I guess those guys are going to show up by the end of this episode. And then they do.
Yeah.
Like it's trying to be.
How many hours have you played for?
How many hours did
Yeah.
for now to beat it, or how have I played so far?
Okay, first of all, to beat it.
I rolled credits on the main story 30 hours in.
Okay.
Now then of course, there's a bunch of other missions that will remain nameless that then are, reveal the truth and answer questions about this guy and do all, what I mean? Like,
The truth.
yeah.
I bet it doesn't. I bet it has elevates twice as many new questions.
Here's more questions. Next game, not going to answer those things. But give you more questions.
Keep piling on the questions. Metal Gear Solid 2 to 3-way.
Yeah.
Who the hell is the lolly Lilo?
But Danny, I've been on your question. That was a great question. What is the closest approximation of this? What's what's a good analog for this game?
I think this game's a mixture of things. It is Metal Gear. It's Peace Walker for sure. It is HD Peace Walker. It's Peace Walker blown out with because the thing about Peace Walker was you jump in and the maps were small, then there'd be loading screens connecting them all. Obviously that's gone, but that's the same gameplay-wise of getting in there doing it. But there's a big dash of Far Cry, Assassin's Creed in there of, all right, cool, like, I'm going to go out and I need to do this. I'm going to do this mission I've decided to do. This side mission I'll go do. It's simple. I want to extract this POW. The closest copter drop point is 1,000 meters away. No big deal. They drop you there and you're going, and then it's like, oh crap, there's an animal over there. I don't think I've captured him yet. So you go, you tag him, you Fulton him out, you take him home. Yeah, put him in the zoo back home. Then you come across an outpost, and you're like,
Do you see my confusion with jumping into this game? Why is there a zoo?
why not, Nick?
That's true.
And Ocelot explains it. Ocelot explains
Also
it to you
explains it in a
on
lengthy
radio.
cutscene.
So you've been hired on another mission by the NGO or
Do
whatever.
they at any point explain that when you're kidnapping people, how you get them to actually work for you in a productive
You're
manner?
a big boss.
Because when I
they're
kidnapped
stuck on
Kevin,
a
he hasn't
fucking-
done anything for
They're
us.
stuck on a platform. What are they going to do?
So they have
Swim?
to work?
Yeah.
All right.
You toss people in the brig, and you have to convince them. Not you, but somebody's convincing them to come work for you.
Another guy that you full-summed in the air is convincing them.
So you've enslaved a bunch of people, and the lead slave is like, I'm going to take everyone else out and make them productive for you. How do we do that with Kevin?
I don't know.
Because so far, all he does is just break.
Nano machines. That's how we do it.
Therefore, a
Got it.
nano machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's got all of those things because it is like, then there's this new outpost. You capture it. You get the emblem for it. You are going, and the amount of times I'm like, I've already captured that outpost. I don't have to worry about it. But I tag all the guys so I know where they are. And then it's revealed that one of them is an A+ at combat. And I'm like, well, now I got to capture that guy. And I might as well capture all of his friends too and bring them back to Mother Base. And like,
They're in the same softball team together.
exactly. I couldn't break them up. It's like when you see two really cute kittens, brother and sister. You got to take them home.
Got to eat them
You can't
both.
just get-
Yeah, but it begs the question. It's like the old Woody Allen saying, like, why would you want these people as part of the team if they're so easily captured? I'm not getting captured.
Well, no,
you try putting a balloon around my head and firing me up into the sky.
We'll put it around their head. When you bring
Right around my neck. You
No,
put it around
Nick,
my neck
that's
and
not
you shoot me into the sky,
that's
Miller.
not good. You're bringing them home and you're training them. That's the whole thing.
Got it.
It's like Pokemon.
Like Kevin. Same
Like
thing.
Kevin, right.
Bringing him home and then training him. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on stage. Talk about Metal Gear Solid 5.
Thanks for
The
having
Fan of Pain. Konami guy stuck in traffic. Just don't worry about it.
Don't worry.
Don't worry about it, man. Just
This is a bad plug. I'm sorry. But
All
in
right.
36 minutes, a new Let's Play will be up on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. kindoffunny.com.
That's true.
Noon.
And
Yeah.
what are you guys doing for the rest of the week? Well, you got
We've done an entire week now, and we'll do an entire week next week. Next
damn.
week's Let's Plays end with the very first mission of Metal Gear Solid 5 because it's so spoilery, but it's
Yeah.
us talking about it and debating it.
Okay.
As if it won't already be ruined by then by everyone knowing.
while wearing toilet paper mask.
Exactly. We all put on
I
the
love
toilet
it,
paper
guys.
mask and do that.
Awesome. Thanks so much. When's your meet and greet as well? You're doing
Meet
one
and greet is tomorrow after your lobby.
Yes, perfect. So
if you're here at PAX, we have a panel tonight, 9 p.m. Come hang out with us.
It's free food and everything. Well, not at the meet and greet.
Not at the panel tonight. No. Tomorrow, we're going to go do the lobby with you at 4 o'clock over at the Comedy Club, and then right afterwards, a meet and greet.
Yeah,
booze and such.
Sounds good. Parlor Live if you're in Seattle.
Parlor Live, Seattle.
Gentlemen, thanks so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
And yeah, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. We've got a bunch more cool shit coming up. Lawbreakers, Cliff Blazinski is going to be on and talk about it. Randy Pitchford's coming on. I want to ask him about that new Borderlands movie that they announced today.
Yeah.
But we'll be back in a second with City Skylines. Stay tuned. Make sure you hit that ad button, and we'll be back in a second right here on YouTube Gaming at PAX Prime.
Thank you. That one bench over there never claps. Oh, no, she's clapping.